Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. My name is Yemisi Blake. It's spelled with a Y. Before it was a Z, but I think I might change it because it looks different. I am 21 years old. I don't usually say that when I'm doing talks because I like people to think that I'm a little bit older, so afterwards they don't come over and say, oh, I've got a niece who's 21, or a neighbour who's 21, or any other young person who's in their life and they feel like they have to tell me about it. But I kind of feel like here it's okay to say that I'm 21, especially as there are a lot of young people in the different sessions and they've been allowed in at a concessionary rate. So, what do? I kind of feel like in my work as an artist and a workshop facilitator, part of my responsibility is to help people feel confident in using their creativity. And when it comes to being asked to talk about things like social change, I have to look back and think about the projects that I've worked on or the people that I've worked with and think in a slightly different way about what we've done. I'm only here for a couple of minutes, but what I'd like to do is to read a poem and then talk about 3 people who I went to college with and the work that they're doing. When I was asked to find a poem, I tried to go quite grand. I thought, Shakespeare, Yeats, Keats, anyone, but none of them really suited social change. And then I found this poem called Guitar by a teenager called Claire Barnes. Guitar. The smooth strings slide effortlessly away from my drifting hand. Even the most twisted chords become sweet music to my ears. For when I pour out my troubles, my guitar sings to me. A soft melancholy sigh, a comforting whisper in my ear. It puts things in perspective and makes everything right again. The pearly white tuning pegs squeak reassuringly as I tune it lovingly, brushing specks of dust from the polished wood, and then, my spirits lifted, I slowly, gently lay it down in its case, as one would a fragile puppy treated with painstaking care. Then, before I leave, I run the side of my hand down the strings a final time. The smooth strings slide effortlessly away from my drifting hand. So what's Claire Barnes doing? She has a guitar, and she's making those emotions that are not very pleasant into what she calls sweet music to my ears. What I like about the poem is that what is not in the poem are large organizations. There's no kind of mentor figure in the poem. There's no guitar tutor in the poem either. And what I think is really beautiful is that those people might have been around, but in the context of the poem, it's just her feeling confident with her creativity. I went to school or to college with a few people like that, who were inspired by other people, but when it came down to looking at what they wanted to do and what they wanted to change in their community, it was 3 guys who got together and decided to set up a dance company called Goodfoot. The guys are Shaq, Arthur, and Jermaine. Those are the kind of guys who, when you're at school, are always going to be the cool ones, right? They wear the nice hats, they've got the cool trainers, all the girls kind of look at them, and then there's me who's a poet in the corner. But anyway, it's about those guys. And they like to dance. They're self-taught break dancers. And after a little while of kind of getting into this, they were meeting young people at different events, and they decided that they would set up their own dance company and run workshops. They didn't have anywhere to run workshops, but they were looking for a gym to train. So they were going around Finchley in North London, and they found a gym that had just started and said to the guy who set it up, can we use this space to run our workshops for young people in here for free? He said yes. They started inviting young people to come to those sessions on Mondays and Thursdays, and then they launched a kind of new program for people of all different ages. What did they not have? Money. What did they not have? Tutors. What did they have? Confidence in their own creativity. So I'd like to leave on the note of asking about what we can do when we leave Chain Reaction. As people who might be working in different organizations, who might be mentors to young people who are young, starting up in the arts, building a professional career for themselves, I think we should be asking the questions, what do we have that we can bring to those guys? Might it mean that we need to look around and find the people who are setting up these organizations and workshops and offer them a couple hours of our time? Could it be that we know someone in an organization who would be really cool to meet those young people who are doing these interesting things? Or is it that we can just send out an email to our friends saying, hey, check out these people who are doing this cool stuff, and see what happens from there? In the spirit of chain reaction, I think part of what we need to do is just spread the word. We need to look out for young people and older people who are doing really interesting things and help them get their word and their efforts out there. And I'm just really interested in talking to people afterwards and finding out who in your community is doing very special things.